Hey, what is up? Dalton and Cloud here. So today we're going over another project management certification. So in this particular certification course, we'll be going into Exelos is the vendor. We're actually going to be going over the ITIL 4, specifically the ITIL 4 Foundation Certification. Uh, if you do enjoy this video, great. Be sure to give it a like. And then if you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap that notification bell. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. All right, so we're over here at the ITIL Foundation Certification, the main page on the Exelos vendor website. They do a lot of project management, agile sort of certifications. ITIL is one of their primary routes that they have people study under, as well as Prince2 Agile. That's more of the agile project management approach. ITIL is more just for like primarily like, if you're trying to get into the management sector of IT in a company. This would be more of the route you would want to go if you want to go more project management, specifically with Agile. Prince2 would be more the route you want to go, or Scrum, something like that. So this is the primary page. We'll have this linked in the description. From here, you could find the different links for a sample paper, the syllabus, and other information like that. We'll go into the syllabus a little bit here. So the primary areas you're going to cover under here is going to be key concepts of service management, guiding principles that could help organizations adopt and adapt to service management, 4 dimensions of service management, and the purpose of the components. There's about 7 objectives, ITIL principles, know the purpose and key terms of the 15 ITIL practices. And it goes over this on the primary page that we'll have linked as well. This certification is designed to introduce ITIL 4 enables candidates to look at service management through an end-to-end operating model for creation, delivery, and continual improvement of tech-enabled products and services. So it's primarily so you understand the end-to-end operating model for service management. That's the main outline that you need to take away from understanding these principles. I do like they have something similar that CompTIA has, where you have different point systems if you do purchase their material. If you purchase the official book by Exelos, it will be, looks like around $65 US, 45 pounds. And then you can get another version of this book through Amazon if you prefer through Amazon. We'll skip ahead a little bit. Can't type today. So it's about the same price, $58 US, marked off from 65, or 43 for the Kindle version. Get the Kindle version if you can. Just save you a couple bucks. But the one you find here on Amazon, it's the same one that you find through the vendor website. So I would pick that up if I was you, if you did prefer reading material, or if you just want to use an additional reading material, I would go that route as well. And then once you pass the exam, you get access to their learning portal type of thing. And this is basically where you could get discounts on future certifications. You could get different badges that you could put on your profiles, like on LinkedIn and stuff like that. Develop Me, just basically where you could start learning about other certification paths you have access to going through. So the actual certification itself is going to be around $384. And then you could see some of their other certifications you could get access to. The Prince 2 Foundation as well, around the same price. And you can go through PeopleCert. That's one of the certification vendors. You could also go through Pearson VUE, and they go through PeopleCert, but I just prefer Pearson VUE as a certification vendor, so that's who I suggest going through. I did skip this page, but I kind of wanted to bring it up just because I prefer it. Oh, also they offer you the sample paper. The duration of this exam is 60 minutes, 40 questions in total, and it even says 26 marks required to pass out of 40. So you need to just pass 26 of the 40 questions, multiple choice examination questions. So not the biggest hurdle to overcome, getting a 65% or higher, as long as you study the material. So here it just says, hey, you get access to ITIL once you pass the exam, the My ITIL content, which we showed you earlier. And then I do like this because they say, hey, like what we're doing here, teaching you kind of pathways you could learn in IT, it says what kind of your next step would be. So building on this foundation level. Of course, the ITIL practitioner is the next logical step, depending on what you want to do. But then it says, hey, maybe you want to go into more project management type approach as well, then getting, agile project management. So see Prince 2 as kind of like your next transition stone or transition in that step. Well, we could list this article here that they have for those who are interested in kind of what they suggest is the next step. So the first vendor or kind of course we're going to go through is going to be on IT Pro TV. We use IT Pro TV for a lot of certifications, mainly our IT based certifications. Not as much project management, but they do have quite a bit. So if you click on ITIL courses, they do have quite a bit of courses. It's not just going to be that. So that's one of the perks. You have your monthly fee, but if you're going for multiple different ITIL vendor certification courses, they have them all on there. They have the ITIL 4 Foundation, the ITIL 4 Managing Professional Transition. They have a lot of different subsections in here, and they have a lot of content, as you could tell from even the foundation. It's 16 hours. Then we go to the practitioner. There's an additional 5 hours there, but then you have everything else in between. Practitioner, intermediate, and then the different subsections of intermediate: service design, service operations, strategy, and then the expert, which is another 9 hours, and master, which is only 46 minutes. You learn less as you go on. No, I'm kidding. It just gets a little bit more into the weeds of things. But they have a lot of base material for the foundation, 16 hours worth of content, just because they've compounded more and more things on top of this. Oh, here's the article I was mentioning before. Next up we'll actually go to Learning Tree in a second. Sorry about that. For those of you who are unfamiliar, maybe, with some of my videos, I do like to show you just your price points you're going to have for your courses. So IT Pro TV, I do like their plan. I don't like them compared to some vendors because they do have the different fees. So this is $30 a month for just the video content. Now, if you want to have access to their labs and tests, it's going to be $50 a month instead of the $30, or $300 and $500 respectively. So for this, there is a practice course in the ITIL Foundation, which you won't have access to if you pay for the standard membership. If you know you're not going to bum rush through this and you're going to kind of take your time going through studying for this, I would suggest maybe starting with the standard service, see how you enjoy that. And then if you really enjoy it later on, then maybe upgrade your account when you're ready for testing. And then they also have other perks for the plans, you don't just get access to the labs and tests, but you also get access to learning coaches. So the learning coaches will help you with test prep, and then they also could help you kind of like give you a little bit of guidance and, oh, what should I do next? I'm trying to go for this role, and they are in the field or have been in the field before they came to IT Pro TV, so they could give you a little bit more guidance for what role you want to obtain. Next up is Learning Tree International, which is okay, but just if you're looking at the price point, I don't think you would ever need to pay that much, especially for a foundation level exam. If they really went in depth and it was a more extensive certification, like the AWS Solutions Architect Professional, I would say, okay, I could kind of see this as long as they could like guarantee I pass and know the information. But to do that for that level exam, it would be more than like a weekend. It would be more than 3 days. So I'm gonna say not to use this as much. I'm just listing it because it was it had a lot of good recommendations. A lot of people gave pretty decent reviews. Next up, Simply Learn. The reason I do like Learning Tree over Simply Learn, they just say, hey, this is what these people rate us. But there's not really a lot of like review count and stuff from Simply Learn. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy Simply Learn, just it's not my favorite place to go to. And also they do have a higher price point, because this is $400, but just for this exam, which they're probably gonna make sure you pass, right? It's probably gonna be almost a guaranteed pass, but you don't need to pay $400 for foundation level content. I mean, even the vendor doesn't want you to pay that much. They want you to pay $65. So why are you gonna pay $1,550 and $400 respectively, or $600 respectively? Just probably not my first option when it comes to learning material. Next up, it's going to be lynda.com or LinkedIn Learning, where you could get access to quite a bit of ITIL 4 foundation level learning. This was just this was just the first one that I found, was this course by David Poltorek. Sorry. And he has a couple different content on here. We see Jason Dion on here as well, and then James Wickett. But this is more for DevOps. I would mainly stick to David and Jason's content. Jason is really great. We're going to get to some of his content here in a second, actually, when it comes to ITIL 4 and Axelos content learning, because he also teaches for the Prince 2 certifications as well. Speaking of which, here's Jason Dion. So you could actually get access to this course with the Udemy subscription package. You could try it for 7 days for free, and then you could pay $30 a month after that 7-day trial. So if you're someone who really you're not going to school, you're not, you have a little bit of free time or a decent amount of free time in between work, then I would definitely try the subscription. If you're someone who could just go through and knock something like this out, like study, and knock this out, because this is actually a pretty good deal. Because you don't just get access to Jason Dion and his stuff, right? You get access to all the primary courses on Udemy. And if you are going in the IT route, they have a lot of great content by a lot of great instructors on here. Networking, security, cloud, DevOps, project management, you name it, they got it. Even if you're going developer route, they have a lot of great content on there as well. If you're not someone who likes the idea of a subscription service, and maybe more like the idea of I buy it, I own it, sort of thing. I respect that. That's how I am as well. You could get this course for $18. It's 82% off its asking price, but it's always going to be 82% off. This is going to include 6 practice tests. And, for each question, he's going to go in depth, explain why that answer is the way it is. And each question is prepped similar to what it'll be in your testing scenario. So the same amount of time for each test, as well as 40 questions each, just like it would be in the actual testing environment. So he has another course, Introduction to Service Management, which is going through the ITSM route. This was last updated on this year in February. This also is in the subscription bundle. So this particular course, it will help you with the ITIL 4 certification for foundation, and it has just a bunch of ITIL 4 foundational knowledge on here. This is only 2 hours worth of content, so it's not his most in-depth certification route you could go through. Or you could actually go through his website, diontraining.com/ITIL4 foundation. This is going to be $379, which again, it's going to be expensive. But Jason does a great job. Here, he's going to give you the training plus the exam voucher. So that $379 actually includes the exam voucher for the certification, which, as you remember earlier, we said the actual exam voucher is going to be $384. So considering $379, you're actually getting a pretty good deal here. So overall, what are you actually paying for all this test prep? I said $379 and $384, so you're actually paying $5. It's not terrible. That's not terrible at all. So if you are going that route, this is where I would suggest you go through. And then he just says, what does ITIL 4 Foundation cover? The 4 dimensions, keys, components, 7 guiding principles, value in service, value in the service value system. Sorry about that, kind of a tongue twister. And what's included in this course. So the online videos, download PDF, cram cards, just flashcards to help you study, quizzes after every section, practice exams, and then the certification exam voucher. So that's actually a great price. He says it's $363, as we saw, $384 now. So that's an amazing price for this course. You're basically paying $5 for it. So I would highly suggest you go through and buy it from his website instead of going through on here. And usually Jason Dion and his team have the website updated a little bit faster than they have their Udemy courses. So that's why I would actually go through here instead. If you're not comfortable doing that, I understand. Then I would go through Udemy. And then, as I said earlier on in the video, if you're going to get the book, I would just go through and get it from Amazon, because you're not getting the points that they said you could get earlier on, like the CDP points, CPD points, but I wouldn't be too worried about that because you're going to get those accumulated after you take tests anyway. It's $43. So you're saving about $21. We're here to save money and get you certified. So that's where I would go if I was you. Other than that, that's going to be the primary content we're going to go over and just suggest for this exam. As I said, I've used IT Pro TV, studied their content through here. I do prefer them if you're trying to go for a lot of certifications. So if you're trying to do a lot of things at once, they're the ones to go through. If you have LinkedIn Learning through your company, great. Use them. David has a lot of content on here, but I would go through Jason whenever you see his articles or his courses. I'd use Jason. Jason Dion if you want to keep the content. 6 practice exams that, you know, I used his practice exams for the Security Plus. I didn't use it for this just because I don't have the subscription for Udemy anymore. But I did use it for the Security Plus. He does a great job going over and explaining sort of how to get certified. And not just how to get certified, but, you know, after each question, why it was right or why it was wrong. So you kind of get that in-depth overview. So if you're even questioning why you answered that correctly, you're still going to get an explanation on why. But overall, you're not going to beat this price. You're basically paying $5 for the content, and then you're getting an exam voucher along with it. So I would definitely suggest going to Jason Dion, going to diontraining.com/ITIL Foundation. I'll have the link at the description in the video. I hope you found this helpful. I hope it helps you get certified. If you had an issue with the content or you would like to see something specific, be sure to message me. If I don't get to you right away, be sure to click on the Discord link and just post a message in the general chat, and we'll be sure to reply to you as quickly as possible so we could get you the information you need to get certified and get ahead in your career. Without further ado, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.